Good evening. Welcome again to the Phoenix Empty Nest Creed storytelling um, time. And this is Farisai. I'm starting the series of storytelling. And my series is called The Phoenix in Me. Today has been a trying day. But I feel like I'm too exhausted to go into detail. So hopefully I'll probably be able to do that tomorrow. But I can, without a doubt, say to you, when you pray to God for something, be prepared that He will answer, but in the best way possible. And that can mean He will answer in a way that you were not asking for. He will answer in a way that maybe you were not expecting, even possibly in a way that might scare you or that you might not like. So his answer might then end up looking like it's not an answer. And I think from what I've learned today, many times we say, God has left me behind, God has forgotten me, God has forsaken me, simply because what he presents to us as answers is not what we wanted or what we expected. And so instead of taking full consideration of the answer, we went into defense mode or denial mode because it's not the answer that we were asking for. Now, you're probably wondering where this is coming from or where it's going. I will explain. I think the other two videos that I did, I was talking about my challenges since 2017. I was talking about my pain, and I was also talking about the ripple effects of living alone, being isolated. I hope I mentioned that there's a difference between being alone and being lonely. So what I've shared in the first two videos is by now should be revealing that I have been going through both being alone and being lonely. Now, being alone means you are on your own, and that doesn't always equate it to being bad or wrong. You can happily be alone. But being lonely, on the other hand, it's a pain factor and it's not nice. And when it flips into that realm of loneliness, then it's not good and it needs to be tackled and handled. Because if not, it can spill over into a whole new ball game that might end up needing more intensive, more specialized care. What am I talking about? It might then spill over into your mental health, and you could start being depressed, being anxious, and all these things that I told you that I've been experiencing. It's because my loneliness, I allowed it to go on too long until it spilled into the other realm, the bad realm. And the fight is real. Trust me, the struggle is real coming back from that. But I think I've been created as somebody who does not quit, even if I want to. So yeah, here we are, me sharing my stories now. And I'm hoping someone will pick something or two out of my stories and apply them to their own personal journeys or their personal stories in a way that helps them to overcome. Because this is what Phoenix Emptiness Squid is about. It's challenging the negative aspects of being alone, which is loneliness mainly, but if it is spilled over into the realms of mental health challenges, um, and any other stuff such as anger, bitterness, and all those things, we are actually in the process of establishing ways of overcoming that as well. In fact, our passion really is to change the narrative, to bridge the gap between those things that restrict us and the things that empower us. I mean, is if you're in the United Kingdom, you know there are services that are formal, professional, that have certain pathways towards helping you. But in any place, there are always simple things that people think don't do nothing for you that actually, when given due diligence, when given due consideration, when focused on and appropriately applied, they could actually end up being what saves you instead of the commonly trusted pathways. Now, I'm not disrespecting the formal pathways, and I'm not saying they are not needed or they are not necessary, but I'm saying the little other psychosocial activities or approaches could facilitate, could aid and quicken the process. And this is what we're about, is empty nesters creed. Now, I was talking about praying and prayers being answered. So, in the last few weeks, my prayer has been, I want my life back. I've been praying to God to give me my life back. And if you know me well, you know this has been a prayer for a long time. I'd say from 2017, following the accident. But the thing is, up until the few weeks that I'm talking about, I prayed in fear, not in trust and hope. And so my prayer points were kind of glossed over, they were kind of diluted. I'll give you an example. I would say, God, I want my life back, but I would specifically say I want it from where I am today moving forward, because I didn't feel I was strong enough to deal with the past. And now, the last few weeks, my prayer changed because I had a feeling that for my life to be given back to me moving forward, and without me then tumbling backwards again as I've been doing, I really need to know the root cause of my problems. And I really need to identify them so I can challenge them, so I can find solutions to them. And this is what has happened. The last few days now, God was answering. And I tell you, it's been a terrifying few days, to the point that God has directed people right to my doorstep. These people have been directed to me in the name of helping me pack, but they also came with a mandate to help me unpack the past that I'd locked away because I felt it was too much for me to deal with and I wasn't equipped for it. Yeah, today was a typical. I think I'm gonna need to do a second video just to give tidbits of what actually went on today, which is really shocking for me. Oh, I'm so exhausted, but I can't leave uh, the video where I left it. So I'm gonna continue and break down a little bit of what I was saying. So yeah, I was praying for God to give me my life back, and part of getting my life back was about revelation. I was asking God to reveal to me what has happened to me and why has it happened and how do I move forward, that way gain my life back. As much as I've been down in the valley, as many would say, I've not lost the sense that there's so much more to me than what's been going on. There's so much more to me than what's been manifesting. There's so much more to me than what I've been seeing and what other people have been seeing. And so I've been craving to know what the heck is going on. So God decided to answer my questions so that we can get down to me getting back my life. And first of all, few days ago, about 4 days ago, a very good friend of mine, we were so close. I was actually shocked that I had forgotten about her. Before I tell you about this friend, I have shared before that after I had COVID the second time, I lost my memory for a while. A long while, actually. For me, it's a long while. 8 months is a long time for you to not remember yourself, remember where you are, remember who you are, remember what has happened in the past, except what's going on right now. Remember to forget people, um, to not remember people you know, including as close as my own child, somebody I carried for 9 months in my womb. I didn't remember him for months. And I can imagine how traumatic that was for him. And it was traumatic for me, but from a different perspective. I mean, I now clearly, well, I believe I clearly have a picture of the struggles that people with dementia face, because that was me for 8 months, literally agitated and um, traumatized, trying to remember where I was, what I was doing, what I wanted, trying to remember, did I eat, did I drink, and not remembering, making cups of teas and then forgetting to drink them, going in the kitchen, standing there like an idiot, not knowing why I went there, or going into any other of the rooms in this house, but still not remembering or not understanding what I was doing there, and finding things in strange places. Initially, this became a problem for my son because he was the one that was finding these things and questioning why they were there. For me, I was just in a maze of confusion. So, anyway, that period, that 8 months, I forgot a lot of people, and including this friend of mine. I'm not going to mention names because I haven't sought permission for me to tell this story, including them in the story. So I'm just gonna call her a very, very close friend. Um, Following a few days of praying for revelation, praying for gaining my life back, this woman turned up, literally called me, and I saw the name as the phone call came in, and I almost had a panic attack because the name rang a bell, but I couldn't properly place where I had known this woman from and why I knew her and why she was calling. And these thoughts go into your head so fast. The 3 rings that the call made, I thought all this in those seconds it took for the phone to ring 3 times. And then I picked up the call. And as she spoke, I remembered the voice, but I still couldn't remember I still couldn't remember what the connection was with this person. Anyway, I think she sensed that there was something that wasn't quite right. And then she was asking me questions and questions and questions. Um, you can fob off somebody, you can wing a conversation for so long, but if it goes longer, you can't pretend anymore because it becomes very clear that you're talking from different realms, or you're talking from different perspectives. So in the end, she said to me, "What is going on?" And I had to explain to her what had happened. Oh, she was really shocked and she said to me, "I'm coming down to see you. I can't believe we live so close to each other." And I literally just told myself, "You were busy working, like everybody else, like every Zimbabwean works nonstop." Anyway, so she drove down with her niece, because I had explained to her that I'm actually in the middle of packing, and she was like panicked, thinking you could have moved and I wouldn't have known what was going on in your life, and I would have just thought you're living life as usual. And one thing that she said to me that I need to tackle right now is that she said to me, "But I've been seeing posts on social media. I've been seeing your post on Facebook. Now, I have an app that I use to schedule posts, and this app you can do a schedule for 12 months even. So I have posts that actually come up that I did the videos last year. So people will see these videos and think, yeah, Fari is having the time of her life. And when meanwhile, sometimes I can hardly come out of bed. Anyway, back to that. This was to me beginning of a revelation, because her coming here involved her telling me some of the stuff that we did together, and with her telling me some of these things, some of the stuff started to flash back in my mind, and the way I hate flashbacks, I could feel part of my brain shutting down, telling me, "You can't deal with this. Please just don't let it in." And but anyway, she was speaking, and I couldn't tell her to shut up. I couldn't, I I smiled along and joked along and laughed along, um, and she told the story. And then well, today, another person that used to be very close to me actually visited me as soon as he spoke to me. Now, this person, apparently, I fell out with him in 2018, and I literally told him to get the hell out of my house, which I don't remember. And the reason is so stupid. I cannot actually comprehend why I would do such a thing. But anyway, this is what he told me that it happened. And I don't see him as a liar. Even the way he was saying it, there were connections that were making sense, because he also mentioned my brother, my stepbrother, and it just all kind of fit, because I've also been trying to deal with forgetting this brother of mine. uh, so what he was telling me, the time frame, and what my son has told me, it all makes sense. Um, but it literally was about me finding something that belonged to him in this house as I am packing, and I just used the names on what I found, to enter it in my phone to try and search this person. And the number came up, and I texted the person, and he rang me straight back. And a 2-minute conversation, he came over, and yeah, the answers are coming, but they're scary.